Someone's not counting. 6.
Going on, fellas?
Shaking.
So, we're gonna be doing this new thing where we're gonna be doing these movies that are already out on Blu-ray, and those are gonna be the videos that we're gonna be taking the time to just like edit them and make them a little bit more watchable and stuff. And as you may have seen, the first one we're doing this with is Jurassic World, and now we're gonna move on to Deadpool.
And our theater reviews are going to be a little different. Like, we'll go see the movie the night it comes out, and then we'll review it, and it'll almost be more like a spoiler talk.
I guess
spoiler
so.
talk and review. Like,
yeah, it'll be more of like an uncut.
and yeah, there's no editing in those. Like, I'll just do that on my phone and upload it the night of.
It'll be more of like a first impressions type video, whereas this, like, we've seen Deadpool at least like 20 times.
Geez,
like,
I don't know how many times.
I've seen it a lot, so like we may as well just get into this and hope you guys enjoy this series of video. So let's get into it.
So Deadpool came out in 2016, 20th Century Fox, and I gotta say, I went to see this in theaters, and there was a lot of people who did not realize that this was an R-rated movie.
Really?
Oh yeah, like there was kids in the audience, and I remember looking at my dad because I went with him to see this one, and we just we heard kids laughing at like really, really foolish things, and like me and Dad just kind of like looked at each other and just raised our eyebrows.
I don't think there was any kids whenever me and Dad went to go see it.
Yeah, like this was not a Spider-Man movie, and it is a hard R. Like I think that's what some, like, the parents that don't know, they didn't realize.
They didn't. Well, they thought it was just another superhero movie.
But yeah, like that's I had to make note of that because I remember going and seeing it in theaters, and there was a lot of people there with their kids. Didn't notice it with the second one.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of I don't even think that movie is rated R in Canada. I think you only have to be 14 to see it here.
Which would make sense because like they only really show boobs in that one.
In the one
two different scenes in the bar and then in the montage.
Yeah, and that's you only get like a little tease.
Oh yeah, and then there's another part where like the girl's boobs hanging up, but Colossus is like, "Oh no!" and he has his hand like perfectly over it. So that made me wonder: is this R or? Like...
it's R in the States, but for us, I think it's only 14 plus.
But the runtime for this movie is an hour and 49 minutes, 109 minutes. I don't know. This movie, it didn't feel like it was too long. It felt like it was probably a good length, like,
yeah, especially for the first movie and like this character that, I'll be honest, like, I knew who Deadpool was, but until this movie I didn't know Deadpool like I know him now. Like, as of now I'm collecting comics and stuff.
I can say that too. Like, I knew of Deadpool from popping up in random cartoons.
Because like I remember when Deadpool was supposed to be in X-Men Origins, and I was a kid, don't shit on me, but whenever I saw him in that movie at the time, like little 11, 12-year-old Mark thought that was awesome at the time.
Even then, like, that was when I was getting into downloading movies, and I downloaded, like, such a bad quality of that movie.
Oh,
the first
man.
time I watched it, and oh my god, like, I swear it was unedited. Like, it was so
That's it. Did you see that too, man? Like, whenever like they chop Deadpool's head off, and like it's going down like the pipe, and like the beam is going everywhere, and it's all just like blocks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's the first time I ever seen that. I seen that
when
too.
he's in there scraping his claws in the mirror. Like, that was just...
It just wasn't done. I remember that.
So yeah, the Deadpool 2016 is directed by Tim Miller. Did I look him up? I think I looked him up, and he doesn't really have a whole lot of movies that like just pop up. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, the movie starring Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, Wade Wilson, Morena Baccarin as Vanessa. She's from Gotham. That's all I know her.
See, I didn't know her.
Like, that is
never
all
watched
I know her
Gotham.
from. And I will say, I like her more in this than in Gotham. Not saying she's bad in Gotham. I just think she did a way better job in this movie, but it is a high budget. So you kind of get what you pay for. It's also starring Ed Skrein as Ajax Francis. He looks familiar. I've probably seen him in a movie or two before, but like he's not someone that like I see and I'm like, oh, him.
Oh, him, yeah, I remember him.
And T.J. Miller as Weasel. Is that his name?
I have no idea.
Like,
I just call him the buddy.
Like, I don't even know if they actually say his name throughout that whole movie, do they? Because I didn't notice.
Maybe.
The only reason I found his name was because of Google when I was making sure I was writing all their names right. But yeah, it's also starring Stefan Kapicic as Colossus, and I'm not even going to say anyone else that's in the movie. But I had to mention him because I really liked his voice. Like, it felt more like Colossus than the previous X-Men movies, and that's the only reason I noted him in there.
And with that being said, I honest to God can't think of anybody else in the world who could play Deadpool.
Oh no,
the way Ryan Reynolds
like if Deadpool
does
died, you may as well just not make another Deadpool movie. He's just
like he's got the
voice,
the attitude, everything.
The look, when he's all scarred up, I whenever it goes to like the flashbacks and stuff, like it does feel like Wade Wilson in a way, but like when he's all scarred up, he actually feels like Wade Wilson. Like before he was all scarred up, it almost felt like Ryan Reynolds.
But the best part about it is that it's one of those characters where it's like Deadpool and Wade Wilson are basically the same character.
Oh yeah, no, I have that noted here actually. It's like because like Bruce Wayne and Batman, they're two very different
and like
people.
Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
They have the same morals, but they're two very different people. Where Wade Wilson and Deadpool, the only difference is Deadpool has the suit on.
The costume, yeah, that's
the
only
only
difference. Whereas like that's why like the costume may not even be in one of my favorite scenes. Like my favorite scene is the bare ass scene in the fire, the fight scene.
Oh yeah.
Whenever Francis is just thrown, you just see like the bird going.
Oh yeah,
everywhere
he throws him and you just see the bird.
Only for like a second, but that's just part of the joke.
I think one of my favorite parts in the movie is the Zamboni kill.
You're about to be killed by a Zamboni. Tell me where your fucking boss is, or you're gonna die in 5 minutes.
That's probably my
you don't even get to see
I
it.
know, just going up the ice
as slow as possible. Tell me who your fucking boss is. But, oh no, that's as I said. Nobody else can do Deadpool as good as Ryan Reynolds did it.
And from like the beginning of the movie alone, like you know what kind of tone this movie's gonna be with that intro of all the people in the air and like.
Whenever I was sitting in the theater seeing that, I was like, no. And like it says like directed by the biggest douche or something, and then it's like written by the real heroes here, and like all these weird things, and I was like, no, that's clever. I haven't seen that before.
And then like you kind of just think it's the intro, but then like 5-10 minutes later you realize that it's actually something happening in the movie, and it kind of slows down and just kind of freezes for a second. He's like, did I leave the oven on? But it's like that's the intro.
that was the part where
like I really liked that too, how they incorporated that. It wasn't just a funny stupid intro for the sake of a funny stupid intro.
It was all like that's what happened when shit started hitting the fan on the highway.
It goes to a scene of Shoop da Hoop, or whatever the song is. Deadpool just sitting on the bridge, jamming, drawing a picture, him killing someone. And he looks at the camera and says something, but this is all because of that leaked footage from, what year was it?
That was, let's say it was 2014, 2015.
Yeah, whatever.
And I remember, like,
I watched that footage a lot on YouTube. Before I even knew Deadpool was going to happen, I watched that so many times, man. And, I was like, is it going to happen? Like, what? Like, I was just so, like...
That was Ryan Reynolds, man, leaking that shit out there. Like, he got somebody who's just like, it doesn't need to be, like, really, really good CGI. Just get this done so we can put this out there to show people want this. And look what happened.
And with the Deadpool movie, too, like, this was made for the fans, basically by the fans in a way. Like, because it had, like, no budget. Ryan Reynolds cut half the money he made just to try and make the movie better. Put more money into the movie instead of paying him to be in the movie. Like, he wanted this movie to be made.
Like, and it shows.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, it has moments of, like, where terrible CGI. Like, there's some moment, but it doesn't linger long enough for you to, like Justice League. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like Justice League. It's just, like, someone hanging on the back of a car and they literally look like a video game. But then you're like... it is a superhero movie, and then you realize it didn't really have a high budget, and it did awesome.
For the money that it had, yeah, and especially like the R rating, that had a factor where it's like, well, nobody's going to go see this movie
the
because
first
it's
time you
rated
see
R.
Colossus, it's in this dark setting, and he just looks like a shitty video game character.
When he's sitting
then,
at the table eating the cereal.
yeah, but then when you see him out on the bridge with the sun hitting him, he actually feels and looks like Colossus. So it's like, I didn't like the CGI on him at first, but then it kind of grew on you. But it did have its moments throughout the movie. But there was a lot of scenes like that.
Yeah, where you're just like...
one of the... actually, maybe 2 different times Deadpool does like a jump kill. The jumps just look so terrible. It's like how did you get away with putting that in a movie? And then it's like, you know what? Whatever. I don't even care.
You can't even complain because we were lucky that we got it.
Yeah, and that's what it all comes down to, was the budget. If they had more money, these scenes would have looked better. So I can't rag on that because it's not anyone's fault.
No, I will say, this is the first movie that
it was
is
a
like...
big gamble, too.
It was, but that's...
movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This was the first movie that showed, like, you can go and make an R-rated superhero movie, and it will make money. There is a fan base for this shit. But, to this day, they're still being a little picky with the budgets, I find.
Oh, yeah. Even Logan probably could have had a better budget.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, whereas that movie
But that movie was still awesome.
Yeah, but that movie used its low budget to its advantage.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, for example, like, they didn't put, like, any CGI in it, like hardly any CGI in this and that, but whereas I do want to see an R-rated superhero movie that has like a $200 million budget, like a movie on the scale of like the Avengers.
Oh yeah.
And
if Disney does acquire Fox, like I really don't know what that means for Deadpool. I don't know if that means they can produce R-rated superhero movies through Fox, or if that means they're gonna dumb down Deadpool for the MCU. It's like, what? And it could even stay
like,
as is with Fox, and they could just be like, let's bring Deadpool in for a movie, tone him down for our movie, but in his movie...
That's what I was going to say. Like, I see it like, we see Deadpool show up in the Avengers. He's about to, like say, oh, fuck, or something like that. Whereas Captain America is just... And then Deadpool, like, breaks the fourth wall, looks at us, and he's like, oh, yeah, that's right, I forgot, I switched movies. He's like, I switched franchises.
Different studios, you know.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta zip the lip, and like, he just straight up zips it.
Yeah, he has a zipper and he zips it. Yeah, that would be funny, actually. But, back to Deadpool, the movie. I made note of this before, like, that picture of him drawing the
guy and cutting him in half.
When he's in that vehicle and he just whips the picture. Have you seen this man? I fucking love it.
And it's him right there.
Oh, yeah,
it's him with the...
I'm looking for Francis! Have you seen this man?
I love that. And then, like, the whole highway scene leads to the car, like, the crash, and then I made note of this because it was just one of those stupid little things that made me laugh so much. And he's like, he pokes his head out, he's like, hey, and they all shoot at him. It's like, what did you expect to happen? Like,
you're the bad guy to them, man.
But, he's like, and then he yells out, I only have 12 bullets, so some of you are gonna have to share. I love that, man. Yeah, gets shot in the arm, and he has the hole in his arm.
He's like poking his fingers through it.
Oh man, that's so disgusting, but funny as.
But that's just it. It's like, who's
motherfucker just wiggling his finger through his arm. Oh yeah, I like that one. And then when he gets mad shooting at that buddy, the guy on the bike, he's like 10, shit, 9, fuck.
Yeah, he's
8, shit, fuck.
missing him,
yeah. And then he even gets shot and then kills that guy, and he's like 5, 4, 3, 2, and he's like, stupid but worth it. It's fuck. I can't get enough of it. Yeah, and whenever they're in the bar, it shows this Deadpool list. I actually paused it and wrote down some of the names on it. It's like people betting money on who they think's gonna die or whatever. And like they got people like Bill Cosby, Charlie Sheen, Vladimir Putin, Ryan Reynolds, Lindsay Lohan, Miley Cyrus, Mike Tyson, Shia LaBeouf, Ozzy Osbourne. There's even more on there, but like those were just the ones that really popped out to me. But like it's just so random. Like people had money on Lindsay Lohan dying, and it's like Vladimir Putin, Charlie Sheen, Bill Cosby. It's just they don't give a shit. And then right after that, actually, that girl from Gotham, I'm not even going to try it, Vanessa from Deadpool, I'll just say. She grabs that guy with the Gandalf guy, the fat guy with in his balls. Oh man, Deadpool's just, or Wade Wilson's like, Hakuna has taught us. I roared at that. That was good. Then they have like a banging montage of like every holiday, like the shoving potatoes in his mouth.
See, this is one of those things where it's like, honest to God, I think the funniest joke in a Deadpool movie was if they just straight up say that Deadpool wants to get banged by Wolverine or something like that. Because we know that Deadpool is like part gay or whatever. Like, we know that he's like,
it's not even that he's gay. He don't care.
He doesn't care. He's just like, I'm not gay, I'm not bi, I'm not nothing. I'm just gonna bang whatever I can get my hands on. Like, he takes the strap on. And shit.
Oh yeah, and then he asks her to marry her, and she's like, "Where was that ring?" And it just goes to a shot of him there with his ass. It's like, oh
yeah, he's like, no.
And then he finds out he has cancer, and he's like, "What is it? Liver, lungs, prostate, and brain. All things I can live without." Yeah, okay, you fuck. Can you imagine having that much cancer though?
No.
And like, I don't want to ruin anything for Deadpool 2 if you haven't seen Deadpool 2 because you're watching this review, but like they still touch on the cancer in the next movie, and I really like how they did that, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But I like how it's not just stupid movie for the sake of a stupid movie. Like, the people are actually putting effort into writing these, and I appreciate it.
So basically, he hears about this program where they can heal him or whatever. So he goes and he signs up for this program. The fella from the Ringer shows up, and he says, "Yeah, we can take you in, and we can like make you into something."
That pedophile guy with all the
like that sketchy guy. He's like
Agent Smith.
That looking guy. That's not him. The fella from the Ringer.
Oh, the Ringer. Yeah, no, I'm talking about Deadpool.
Yeah, it's that same guy.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize he was from the Ringer though.
Yeah, that's what he was on. But he looks like an Agent Smith.
No, well, Deadpool calls him Agent Smith later in the movie. That's the reason I said that.
So they take him in, and basically what they do is they do all these weird tests. They basically torture his body almost to the point of death until his body mutates with that shit in him or whatever.
Oh yeah, like they basically they're drowning him, they're beating him, they're spraying, like they're doing anything to they're trying to bring on the mutation in his blood. And basically he finds out Francis's name when he's being tortured and tells Francis he knows his name, and then Francis is like, "Oh, okay, so we're gonna torture you real fucking bad now," and puts him in like an oxygenless tank. And I don't really... that's one thing when I was watching, I was like, I don't quite understand what's going on with his skin. Like, was that because there was no oxygen? Is that because there was...
I just think that was the mutation. Part of the mutation.
Because like, it's almost as if his skin was melting, but I wasn't picturing it hot in there or nothing. Like, I wasn't really sure what was going on in that moment. It seemed sketchy. I couldn't imagine being in a tube and they just took the oxygen out of it. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, like, they put it right to the level where it's like, you can still breathe, but you're gonna suffer.
And, Wade Wilson has a nightmare about Liam Neeson at one point, too. I love that. He had a Liam Neeson nightmare that he dreamt he stole his daughter and he was chasing him or something. I don't know. I just thought that was funny as hell. Like, just the stupid little jokes that he says, man. Yeah, when he throws the rim at Francis, I crave that in the theaters. Oh, man. Like, he's just talking to Colossus and Negasonic Teenage World. He picks the rim up. They're talking to him about being like a superhero. He's like, yeah. And he just chucks the rim and gets
right
him
in the head.
So, yeah.
Just screwing with Francis, right?
Now, this is probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. It was my favorite when I left it in the theaters. It's probably my favorite, even watching on Blu-ray for the 20th time. But when him and Colossus get in the scrap, I think he hits him in the balls, and he's like, "Oh, Canada," because he breaks his hand or something, and then he goes with the other hand and breaks that hand, and then what did he say? All the dinosaurs feared the T-Rex, and his hands are broken, and he like jumps up and fucking breaks his foot, man. Like,
Colossus put him through some shit, and he didn't even do anything to him.
Colossus is just standing there taking it.
So he puts the handcuffs on him. He's like, "Yeah, we're taking you back to
we're
bringing you back to Professor X," and he just looks at him. He's like, "You ever see 147 Hours?"
right before that, though, he's like, McAvoy or Stewart, these timelines are so confusing. I love that, too.
Yeah.
And then, did you ever see
yeah.
127 Hours?
Spoiler alert. He just starts coming onto his hand.
And that
Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Oh my god. And then, like, he's just there. They're both looking at him, Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and he's just there cutting his arm off like this little knife.
Oh, yeah. And then it's, like, almost cut through, and he's just like, you know what? And he just, like, tears the rest of it.
Oh, that's
and
so
then when he
gross.
flips off the bridge, it goes back to his hand like this in the handcuff.
Yeah. And then this is where he says, yeah, we're all caught up.
And then, please don't make the super suit green, which would have went right before he got his powers, I guess. But
making fun of Green Lantern.
Yeah. And then this part, when I was not when I watch it, but when I was rewriting it, I was kind of like, you know, when he gets the match and he blows the oxygen tube up.
Mm-hmm.
In his mind, was he trying to kill himself to stop the torture? Because he wouldn't have known that was going to help him or save him.
I think you're right.
But I didn't even realize that watching it until I was writing it down. It was kind of like, so he would have, like, because this is him not knowing that he even has powers, right?
Mm.
And then he gets the metal bar shoved through him in the dick fight, and then everything burns on him, and that's when he figures out he's, like, invincible. But really, he would have found out he's invincible when he blew that friggin' thing up.
So then after all this, he goes home, and then we meet his blind roommate. And she's awesome, man.
Oh, yeah,
she's quite funny. I think that this movie is just one of those...
They meet in the laundromat, him trying to scrub blood out of his shirt or something. I think that's when they meet.
That's whenever you see her, but then I think he's walking home with, like, the missing hand, and he's just like, yeah, she's technically the Robin to me as Batman or something. And he's just like...
Oh, yeah, the Robin of Batman reference, yeah. Except she doesn't love me like Robin loves Batman.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It was just like, and then we just get to meet her.
I love that whole Deadpool, the jam from the game when he's actually making his suit, which would be when he met her in the
And then, but the funniest, the sickest part's another fucking point in the movie where they're just laying on the thing, and then he's just like,
oh yeah, with
his
hands,
his hands like right small, and she's like, is it just me or is your hand really fucking small? He's like, oh yeah, it's about the size of a Chinese spark.
Yeah, you might want to leave the room. I bet it feels huge in this hand.
Oh my! See, he's perfect. Like, never recast Deadpool.
And when T.J. Miller, Weasel, whenever he sees Wade Wilson for the first time and he's all just messed, I love that. You look like an avocado. I had sex with an older avocado.
And then he like makes like a Freddy Krueger reference, doesn't he?
Like Freddy Krueger fucked the map of Utah or something like that, and then calls him Scaredevil. It's like it's just funny. I don't know. Just
making fun of him, just like, you need to feel bad about yourself because.
And then shortly after that little hand scene, actually, we see Stan Lee's cameo
in the bar, in the titty bar,
introducing now you're Chastity or whatever the hell he says, man.
It's like this really. It's like, well, okay.
It's funny because every time I go see a Marvel movie, I'm always like, wonder where Stan Lee's gonna pop up. Then I'm watching it, and you completely forget about him. Like you don't.
That's what Robert said too. He's like, we're in there. And it's just like, oh man, like you don't even think about it because you're having such a good time watching the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then he just pops up out of nowhere. It's like, oh yeah, that's right, Stan Lee.
But and then the Sexiest Man Alive, Hugh Jackman magazine. That was the second nod to Hugh Jackman in the movie. But this part, man, this might be actually one of my favorite parts in the whole movie. It's just stupid. He goes to the X Mansion and Negasonic Teenage Warhead opens the doors and he's like, Ripley from Alien 3! And she's just like, fuck, you're old.
Yeah, she got like no hair.
Oh yeah, I don't know why, but I watched that scene like 3 times last night. I was like, that's fucking good, man. And then whenever he even mentions like the studio couldn't afford another X-Men, he's like, why is it only you two here? It's like the studio couldn't afford another X-Men.
Without spoilers, like this doesn't spoil the second one, but that joke does come back in the second one.
Oh yeah, and it's even funnier.
It's even funnier in the second one.
It's like how people take a joke and then redo it, and it's worse. No, they took this joke and they made it better.
It's hilarious. Yeah, the whole like, oh, we don't got any budget for anything in this movie.
And then they go on to find Francis at the end at the helicarrier, and the X Gonna Give It To You song came on. I love that just because of the X-Men. Like I love that, but he forgets his bag of guns. Now, he forgot his ammo belt in the first sequence. He forgot his guns. Like, he is the worst superhero. Like that's what
He
I'm
does not come
gathering. Like,
prepared
oh
at
no,
all.
like he gets it done, but like he is just so terrible at it, and it's funny. And then Francis, what's my name? Oh, I'm gonna fucking spell it out for you. The superhero landing. When he's like, oh, superhero landing,
Yeah, that's
landing.
really,
Then,
really bad on your knees. I hope you realize
And then
that.
Colossus says something to Deadpool, and Deadpool's just, suck a cock. I fucking love that.
That is actually, now that you say it, one of my favorite third acts in superhero movies, because I find that's the better part of the movie.
Yeah.
In that end fight scene.
And
like
Sonic Teenage Warhead's just badass.
And he's slicing bad guys, like that part where he slices the guy's head off, jumps up and kicks the head at another guy.
Yeah,
Best death scene in a movie.
And then he runs into Bob. Well, what the hell? Bob is actually a Hydra agent in the comics, and him and Deadpool are friends. I know a little of this from YouTube videos and stuff, but I liked how they actually put him in this. But he catches an axe and throws it back at Francis, and the CGI is just... It looked terrible in that scene. Basically, Francis throws an axe at Deadpool and he catches it and throws it back at him, and it looked cool. Like, I liked the idea of it, but the CGI just looked very off in that sequence.
Yeah, as we said, like, they didn't have the biggest budget for this movie.
But like, we understand that. Like, we understand they only had X amount of money, so... And, him getting stabbed in the dome, like, he got hurt so much in this movie, and I love that, but they didn't like focus on that, and I think that's why I liked it even more. Like, they could have just made an hour and a half of him getting messed up the whole time, and he was, but it wasn't like what you'd expect. I don't know. And then the helicarrier, I noted that here because it looked like a helicarrier. Like,
they've been saying, like, until further notice, like, they haven't even said that's not a helicarrier. So
yeah, they've never said it's not. They never said it was. It's just for us to decide, I guess.
As far as we're concerned, that's
Now, toward, like, at the end, Deadpool, Wade Wilson finally beats Francis, and he has him on the ground. He's about to shoot him, and then Colossus comes up, and he's like, it only takes 3 or 4 moments to become a hero. And he's trying to convince Deadpool to become a hero. I love that.
And you're just like, oh man, he's gonna listen to me. And then all of a sudden he doesn't even like say anything. Just not even looking at him. Just yeah, sorry about that, guys. The battery on the camera died, so we had to let it charge for a second. But let's get back into it.
So yeah, basically, Francis throws his fire axe at Deadpool, and Deadpool like jumps and catches it and spins around and throws it back, and it looks cool, but just the CGI is terrible, and it takes you out of it for a sec, but like we've been saying, the budget was so low, and you can't really blame them for stuff like that.
And
I just wish they went about it a little differently.
And even with that being said, even though the CGI isn't all the best, I still think it looks awesome. Like, I think it looks cool as hell. Like,
oh yeah, like I love the idea of it, and him jumping up and grabbing it and spinning. Like, it looks cool. It's just the CGI is so sloppy. It's just like there was little stuff like that just bothered me, and that's why I kind of notched it down a little bit on how I rated it. But like, it's still a great movie. But again, they only have so much control over how much money they put into the CGI.
Yeah, exactly. And like with Ryan Reynolds, he did get a lot of control. Considering
like,
the fact.
If I shit on Justice League for having shitty CGI, I'm going to have to shit on this for having shitty CGI, you know what I mean? But
you can,
there's a drastic difference in comparing Justice League to Deadpool.
Yeah, whereas Deadpool cost, like, what was it, like $75 million to make? And Justice League cost like $300 million to make. It's like sometimes ridiculous. In those situations, it's hard. It's like you can say like, yeah, the CGI isn't too bad, but for Justice League to have CGI like that and have a budget like that, there's no excuse.
No.
So whereas Deadpool, like, yeah, like it's like, okay, well, that's why. But as we said, there's no excuse for something like that.
But shortly after that, Deadpool gets stabbed in the head, and I just made note of that because he's just getting messed up this whole movie. And they don't make a movie about it, but they sure use it to their advantage, and I love that. And the helicarrier again, is it or is it? Like,
I think they haven't said yes or no to it, I don't think. So as far as I'm concerned, yes, that is a helicarrier. Why would you put that in the movie if it's
Even when it's falling over, you can kind of see like it doesn't look like the helicarrier from Avengers by any means, but it looks like a helicarrier.
Like I don't know. They put that in there for a reason.
But yeah, Deadpool beats Francis up. He's about to shoot him in the face, and then Colossus comes over telling him it takes 3 or 4 moments to become a hero, and he's trying to change Deadpool's ways. And in the theater, I was like, oh crap, he's actually going to convince Deadpool not to. And then bang!
Yeah, just
the
kaboom.
blood goes over Colossus's face. He pukes.
And he's like, why?
Yeah,
you were
like
drumming
that.
on.
And then his woman asked to take the mask off. He's like, okay. And then they take it off, and Hugh Jackman's face is
paper Hugh Jackman
stapled to his face.
I was in the theater and I was
that.
like, so Hugh Jackman's not in this movie? Wolverine, this is the first X-Men movie to not feature Wolverine.
Oh, he was in it like 3 times.
And
mentioned once, in it twice, I should say.
And but like he wasn't in it, but like that's what like
his
presence was there. But that's the joke that made me. It's like, okay, well, fine, he's in it.
Yeah.
Like we can't say he's not in it. Yeah, just take off the mask, please.
And then
in this one,
and then Wade's like, and now the moment I've all been waiting for, and he goes in for the kiss. Oh, I love that.
And you have that nice, great big shot pull out. It's not going to be the only thing pulling out tonight.
Oh man, it's such a raunchy movie. I love it. The credits roll, and then the post-credit scene starts up, and it's making fun of Ferris Bueller's Day Off in a way. Not really making fun of it, just kind of using it, I guess, in a way. But he's like, you expecting Sam Jackson to show up with an eye patch? He's like, we don't got that kind of money.
And with that being said, with the Ferris Bueller thing, if you know, let us know in the comments. Is the post-credit scene in Ferris Bueller's Day Off the first post-credit scene ever? Or no?
I thought I remember seeing that somewhere.
I'm not sure. If you know, let us know.
I can't verify that. But then right after that, he actually says, in the sequel, we're going to have Cable. Mel Gibson, Dolph Lundgren, did I say his name right?
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren.
And Keira Knightley, she's got range. Who knows? He's basically naming off people who could play Cable, and I roared.
Whenever he's just like, "Oh yeah, Cable's gonna be in the next movie." Yeah. We don't have him cast yet, but then like everybody in that moment's like, "Man, they are probably gonna get Cable for the next movie." Yeah. And sure enough,
I was almost half expecting it to be fucking like Keira Knightley or something like just random. But then I'm satisfied with our Deadpool that we got. But I give this movie a thumbs up. I gave it a 9 out of 10 because I really enjoyed it. I would have gave it a 10 out of 10 if some of the CGI moments were a little better. Again, that's on the budget, but I can't not, like, it does bring it down a little to me, so I have to make it a note of it.
Yeah, I give it a thumbs up. I recommend go out and buy it, and you'll have all kinds of laughter.
It's a great story. It's funny. It's real bad. Don't let your little kids see it. But it's funny, and just know if you didn't watch it that they didn't have the highest budget, so don't blame the poor CGI on them.
Yeah, it's all good. It's fine.
Yeah.
So with that being said, guys, that about wraps it up for the Deadpool movies. Now stay tuned in the future, because with this being done, we only got 3 X-Men movies left, and then we'll have reviewed all the X-Men movies. So stay tuned for First Class, Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse.
And when does the next one, the Phoenix one, come out?
I'm not even sure. I don't even know when that comes out.
It'd be nice. Maybe we'll try and have all these done before then, and then
we can move on to a different franchise.
Yeah. So take her easy, guys.
Stay out of trouble.
I'm touching myself tonight.